York. Nick, thank you so much for waking up with us, man.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing well, dude. Pelicans and Saints won on the same day. I mean, let's go. There might not be too many of those, not because the Saints are beside of the equation, because the Pels. So no, it's a good day. And the bottom line, look, this morning I described last night's game as almost like two people that aren't professional fighters being forced to fight to the death. Like it was a sloppy scrap, and there was teeth pulling and eye gouging and biting, but all I give a damn about is that the New Orleans Saints, despite all the wackiness of this season, all the bad luck, sit here at 4-2 through 6 games. But I want to start here, Nick. I read this morning the Saints are 23-5 in their last 28 road games. That is unfathomable to me. What in the world does this organization do, in your opinion, to have that much consistent success away from home?
I mean, I think it's just that they know how to keep them focused, and it's really just overall the whole approach. I mean, the fact that they're 4-2 with the way this season started and being on the road and going through all these hard times, I mean, that just plays into it. And I think that they've figured out how to manage that stuff over the years. And I mean, Sean Payton, his teams are always in the fire to some degree. I mean, with hurricane season and just all this other stuff that's always going on. I mean, you had the ownership situation playing out. That never became an issue for the team.
Yep.
I think they've just figured out how to keep their guys focused and not buy into all the other stuff that's going on. And, even just for this game, just they have sleep scientists and nutrition. I mean, they look at everything. They study everything. They fly out a day early to Seattle. They leave a day late from Seattle. They're probably going to be down a whole practice this week going into the Tampa Bay game. But the science tells them, hey, it's more important for them to get the rest, to sleep, and to come back the day later than you most teams would. So it's looking at everything, having a plan for everything, and it's just that crisis management as well. I mean, when there's a hurricane, flying to Seattle doesn't really feel like a big deal after you've been in Dallas for 2 months.
So there's so many different angles. There's so many different angles that we could talk about from last night's game, Nick. But I just want to start here, which is with Traequan Smith, because we saw a lot of guys return last night. What exactly have you gathered was going on with Traequan? It was partially rusty, but then almost felt like kind of low effort at times. At the altercation on the sideline. What was your view of what happened with Traequan last night?
Oh, man, that was a hard one for me. I was the president of the Traequan Smith Truthers Club. It did not go well. That was not a good day for the club. Look, it's shocking to me 4 years in the league that he's still making assignment errors the way he is. It's unfathomable almost that these mistakes are still happening, and he's run blocking on a pass play. I think that's what was happening on that play where he got the flag. Like, what are you doing? It seems impossible. The thing I liked about that game more than anything that happened on the field was Jameis blowing up on him on the sideline and kind of taking ownership. And you see Sean Payton looking at it, and he just, it's kind of like the meme with the kid with his hand on his stomach, and he like turns away. Like that was kind of what Sean looked like. It is just like, go ahead and take care of this. And in Washington, he barked at Jameis a little bit because Jameis was going at somebody, and allowing him to take ownership of this situation. I thought that was a big moment for him, and it's kind of where he needs to be. It needs to be his team. These guys need to be accountable to him. He needs to hold them accountable to the system, and we saw that, and that was a good moment. But yeah, I mean, look, it's extremely disappointing the way that he played. Him coming back to this group, he should have easily been the best player on the field. I mean, I'm not taking a shot at anybody here. I cheered for Kevin White's story, like on a personal level. I wanted him to succeed. In 2021, when there's a game and you got Kevin White on the field at the same time as Kenny Stills, and Kevin White's getting passes from them in critical moments of the fourth quarter of a game with the result on the line, and Traequan Smith isn't considerably better than both those players, it's a problem. I mean, it's a big issue at wide receiver. They need to be better. He needed to be the guy to help, and I think he was part of the problem. I think he was a detriment to the team, as impossible as that sounds. But I don't think his presence helped them, and he has to be significantly better than he was. And we've seen him better. I think he'll get better. but that wasn't nearly good enough.
Nick, I do want to pivot to the defense because the defense right now, 8th in total defense, 3rd in points per game, and that was really without a pass rush until last night. Last night, team that came in with 8 sacks had 5 just in the game alone last night. They got some guys back. They're going to get another big piece back here very soon. This defense, to me, feels like one that could be the top defense in the league when they get all their pieces back. Do you think the Saints can continue what they did getting after the quarterback last night, and it was really just about getting your guys healthy?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you see Davenport out there, and it just looks different immediately. Like, people are getting moved, and he pops off the screen. It's his athleticism. If he can be that guy every week, and I don't want to get fooled by it too much because he came back last year from injury, and it looked exactly the same at the beginning, and then it kind of dissipated. But, I mean, you couldn't not notice him out there. And now the quarterback's moving, it's creating opportunities for other people. Get on Yamada back, it's going to be even better. So I think the pieces are there for that group to be good if everybody stays consistent. It helped Cam Jordan start. You know, he was knocking on the door. He finally got the door open. Your blitz is better because they got to account for, you know, a guy like Davenport. And you know, he's moving people. And, you know, on a couple of those sacks, you saw him eating up some blocks and guys kind of shooting around him and making plays. So he is a significant difference maker. And, you know, at least for last night, it was extremely obvious he's their most talented pass rusher. And he should be that every week. And, you know, I think he can be. He has the talent. It's just he needs to deliver every game. And if he does, yeah, I mean, this defense, honestly, this defense looks like a Super Bowl caliber defense. The offense is way far off that mark. Yeah. And, you know, they got to find ways to get there. But this defense is good enough to take you. And, you know, they just got to find the way to complement it better. And the way they're winning, it works and it's good. But, you know, I look at the defense, so I got to hold the team to a higher standard. And, you know, I don't think the goal is just to sneak into the playoffs when you have a unit like that. So you got to be a little bit critical of the way they played. And you know, last night offense, the whole season offense, it's not good enough yet. And, you know, hopefully Mike Thomas comes back and helps that out. That situation, you know, who knows what's going on there. You know, at some point he has to come back. He has to play. And he's got to show that he can be healthy and make plays. And, you know, I don't know if he's going to be the cure-all to everything. He's going to help a little bit. I think they still got to do something else because you don't want to waste this opportunity that the defense has given you. They got to get a receiver. I would try to get a running back too. I mean, you don't want Alvin carrying the ball as many times as he is up the middle. You know, at some point, you know, the hits are going to add up, and you don't want something to happen to them. So if you can get like a cheap running back that can help, get any wide receiver that you can add to this group. I mean, I think you got to try to do it. They got, 8 days, 7 days, and the trade deadlines are. So the clock's ticking. You know, they might stand pat and feel like they're okay with what they have, but I would try to get something done.
Ooh, I love that. Okay. So
hey, Lamar Miller, real quick, Nick. Lamar Miller, I mean, is that someone you think that they can count on? I know, obviously, his best football is probably behind him, but is that somebody you think that they imagine can come in and be a 1-2 punch?
I mean, I think, you know, they're taking a look at it. Like you said, his best football is probably behind him. It just feels like they got a lot of guys where it feels like the best football is behind them and they're in critical roles. Like, I would aim a little bit higher if you could. And if there's someone out there, if Marlon Mack's available for, you know, 4th, 5th round pick, go do it. Like, just, you got to take a little bit off of him. And look, even if you just got a running back, you didn't get a receiver, at least then Alvin could maybe do some more stuff in the receiving game. You could split him out and maybe do some more stuff with them there. But, like, they need at least one more guy. I would try to address both positions and you know, look a little bit higher. Like, this defense is so good, and I feel like they're fortunate to win some of these games. And look, the important things are winning and they're staying afloat, and that all helps. I mean, in big picture, you got to win these games, but at some point you got to stop just trying to survive, and they got to thrive. and we just haven't seen the offense thrive yet.
No, we haven't, and who knows, maybe some more coming back there. Like Mike Thomas, that's, again, where I'm putting all my hope. But Nick, we can't get through this whole interview without – and look, Marshawn Lattimore was awesome last night. I mean, I know he kind of got – DK ripped him down on that first one, gets a big touchdown, but then the way the defense just shut them down after that was incredible. And Marshawn was a big part, but the biggest part, I mean, Demario Davis, dude. I mean, I don't even think I have a great question, Nick, because his his play is so self-evident. I think I just want to hear you wax rhapsodic a little bit about Demario Davis and what he does to the Saints defense.
It's unbelievable how he keeps getting better. I mean, you think about like where he was at when he came in. He was a really good player at that point. But he's ascending, and he's 32 years old. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just crazy to see it happening, and he's playing as well as I've seen any linebacker play. You know, I think he's comparable to anybody's peak right now. And I mean, that's just the level he's at, and he does everything well. And last night he did everything. Like, run defense was outstanding, pass rush was outstanding, coverage was outstanding. I mean, he's just become like a really great player. I mean, there's not a deep analysis here. I mean, like you said, it was just so self-evident. And you know, I wrote a story recently, and we might have talked about it last week. Just the way he prepares it, and you know, he learned from Ed Reed how to watch film. He's used that as his foundation, and as he's gotten older, he's kind of just created a system of preparation that he's perfected, and it just allows him to go out there and just constantly be in the right place at the right time. And you know, we always talk about guys like when they get their mental and it reaches like he's at that point where his mental ability is at its all-time high, his physical ability is maintaining, and you just kind of see those two things coming together, like to create this like peak in. It's just crazy. I mean, he's one of the best players in the NFL, and it's age 32, and he keeps getting better. And you know, it's huge for this team. He's the heart and soul of the Saints, I think. Honestly, I mean, yeah. Drew Brees leaves, he's now that, and you kind of see the defense feed off that. And he's an extremely important person on the field, off the field. I mean, he's I think at this point it's safe to say he's easily the best signing this team's had this side of Drew Brees.
Oh, dude, we're watching it in studio right now. The slow motion pass breakup on 4th down last night, that was almost a pick to end the game. It's just
the ball skills are unbelievable.
I mean, the athleticism, the speed, flying through the air out of nowhere. I'm getting goosebumps. That's a guy that's fun to watch play football. All right, Nick, well, thank you so much, man. What do y'all got going on in New Orleans on football?
Breaking down the game, we'll have a film study, probably focusing on the defense. We'll push the offensive side for a little bit, go through some of it. But, yeah, we'll have that, and then everything leading up to the Bucs game. Huge game this week. I mean, it's unbelievable with the way that they've kind of played in some of the issues. I think it pulled into a tie for first this week with the win. So we'll have all that coverage all week.
Nick Underhill, Nick_Underhill, New Orleans on football the site. Go sign up today, y'all. Trust me, it's so worth it, and you support the work directly. Nick, thank you, man.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
God, Demario Davis, dude, what a legend. What a legend. And then he's also like an incredible guy, right, who sells man of God themed merchandise for philanthropic causes. Like, I mean, like, what? How perfect can one human being be?
Like, fully embrace New Orleans, the city, just does everything to possibly, you know, make his stay in New Orleans worthwhile, invest in the community, all those type of things.
Interesting takeaways there from Nick that I want to get to when we get back, and then we'll talk to Andy Staples. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.